my name is Tevž, and this past weekend I got top 8 at Slovenian Nationals playing Maliss. I was quite happy with the deck list. There was only one change that I would make, which I will tell you about during the deck profile. So let's get right into it. So for the Maliss part of the deck, I maxed out on all the names. I played 2 mouse, 2 rabbit, I played triple cat and triple hare. You need to max out on these names, in my opinion, because the worst hands you can have are the hands that don't have names. So because of that I maxed out on cat and hare, because they can work as a normal summon with backup and some other extenders, and it's just much better than not having them. I also played double field spell, pretty self-explanatory, also 1 card combo, and then 1 mirror. This is a new card which helps a lot because ransom is much better because of this as an additional target, and also as a pseudo Maliss cards I played 1 gold sark and 1 terraforming. These are also both 1 card starters. This searches this, so yeah. And then I played 2 traps in the main. I played the GWC and I played the MTP. I think you still need the GWC because just of the utility it provides, and I don't think it's that detrimental going second that you would need to cut it to the side deck. So this is it for the Maliss part of the deck. Then the rest of the side stuff, I played triple backup and the 1 wizard. This is the best extender, and this is also like a pretty good extender, but this searches this, so it's better to play just 1 of this. And yeah, the switching effect of this, like you can banish it from the graveyard and change the position of your opponent's monster, also sometimes came up into Mitsurugi matchups when they fill up their board with Mitama on your turn. You can just make ransom and the big Kameno becomes 800 attack, and then you can switch 1 of the small bodies to attack, and usually with Cryptor and access code that's enough for game. So you don't have to actually clear the entire board. As a pseudo hand traps extenders, I also played 2 bestials. Pretty good into Fiend-Smith variants, okay into Mitsurugi. Bestials were just good overall, like as extenders and hand traps. Then for the actual hand traps, I played triple ash blocks on best hand trap. Stops Charmis as well, like stops some other stuff, like it's pretty good. And then for the mul Charmis I decided to main the 3 Fuvalos and 3 Purulia. These both worked out great. I decided to main Purulia because it was a bit more flexible than Meowls, and yeah, it's better into Maliss than Meowls is into Fiend-Smith and like Mitsurugi variants and Raziel variants, so yeah. I also played 2 Nip because I wanted to draw this with more Charmis, and also on its own it can be quite good into most of the decks. I also played triple impulse. This is just one of the best hand traps in the game. It's like really flexible because you can use it both on your opponent's turn, on your own turn, and also your deck pretty much just doesn't interact with this. In terms of the actual engine, you only lose like Firewall Dragon, which isn't that bad. And then also just played triple imperm, and last 41st card was 1 talents. I didn't really feel like cutting anything and I wanted to main the talents, so I just decided to play 41. You maybe could have cut 1 nip to play 40, but I don't think it was bad or anything. So yeah, this is it for the main deck. I think this is like what, 19 or 20 non-engine slots, which felt like enough. For the extra deck I played the 3 Maliss links, like pretty self-explanatory, like you need to play all 3, which isn't anything special. This is quite a bit better now with the mirror, and yeah, they're all really good. And then for the other links, I played 4 link ones, 1 Almirage. This makes hand trap and backup into full combo. So I think you need to play it, especially with the amount of hand traps you play. Also played 1 link spider. This helps you play through Nibiru because you can just link the token off into this and then extend with the Atignister stuff. And then 2 Linguriba. In some combos you need to use both, so you need to play 2 because Link Decoder got banned. If not, you could have played 1 Link Decoder instead of one of this. For the Link 2s, 1 Wiki searches Secretary, which is one of the best cards in your deck. 1 Splash Mage. The Splash Mage turns 2 bodies into a Link 3, pretty self-explanatory. 1 Haggard also turns 2 bodies into a Link 3 most of the time. I decided to play this because I felt like going second, you don't need as many bodies, so I would rather make this and not get it stopped by Imperm before I make a Link 3, which this does get stopped by Imperm and Veilers, so that's why I decided to also play Haggard. It's cuttable if you feel like it, I just didn't really want to cut it because it's that good. Also played like 1 SP for the utility. I don't feel like this comes up as much as it used to, but I would still play it because in this deck it can also banish cards from your graveyard to help you play. And then the last Link 2 I played was 1 Dark. In hindsight, this should have been a Nightmare Cerberus because in top 8 I lost to Chaos Hunter game 2. So yeah, if this would have been a Nightmare Cerberus, I think I could have done more that game, but in the end, yeah, I couldn't do anything under Chaos Hunter because they also had Bell for my GWC. So yeah, I lost. And then for the Link Force I played Firewall. This is an end board piece, like it bounces your opponent cards and you can also bounce your cards from graveyard for follow-up and hand trap like Ash. So if you Ash Humble Charmy on your turn, during their turn you can bounce it with Firewall and use it again. So that's pretty good. 1 access code, like this helps you OTK so easily, like because you can pop 2 cards and then the link you banished comes back, and if they are boosted by mouse, that's enough through an empty field. And then the last card was 1 Occult. I decided to play this instead of the Topologic. I preferred the Negate into this event. I still think the Negate is superior. Well, Topologic is nice, it can be played around quite well, at least in the mirror, so I felt like Negate was just much better as an endboard piece, because if I'm going full combo, might as well have a Negate on it, right? So yeah, I decided to play this over Topologic. I didn't really miss Topologic, I didn't feel like it was needed, I much prefer Takeout, so yeah, and it worked out well. Like, I don't think I've lost any games that I made this, so yeah, I found it quite nice. It's also really good in some grind games when you just reborn like 2 of your Maliss links and then have a Negate, so that happened once or twice when it won me a grind game, so yeah. Okay, so next is the side deck. So for the side deck, 3 lands, yeah. For the mirror, self-explanatory. I think I also sided in against Crystron in Swiss. Didn't play Mary Mirror, so didn't get much use, but I think it's mandatory right now. Then the other 3 Mulcharmies, Triple Mouse, also mostly for the mirror. There are some other decks this hits, like mainly some Fiend Smith piles, but yeah, this would mainly get switched out for Perulia in the mirror. Then Triple Droll and Outbird. This is for Izial Mitsurugi variants mostly. I didn't feel like maining it because I felt like it didn't do enough into Maliss. You can also side it in going first into some decks, because you can draw yourself on your own turn when you get Mulcharmit. So I would sometimes side this in going first if I didn't have many good cards. It's also good against Mermaid, I guess, which there were two in the top 8, so I didn't play any, but yeah. Then I also played like one Called by the Grave just for going first, stops Lancia, stops Charmist. Pretty good going second as well into Fiend-Smith and Mitsurugi, because you can stop the Ritual and the Lacrima Scent trap. I lost one game against Fiend-Smith Raziel when I tried to call by the Desiree, but I got belt. So yeah, Called by is just generically a good card. Then I also decided to play Triple Trust. This was one of the main reasons I made the one Triple Tactics Talent as the 41st card, because I just wanted like something that's like really generic to side into pretty much any random deck I would encounter, and Triple Tactics Talent with Trust is pretty good going second. Going first, it's also an out for the Chaos Hunter, so that was also one of the reasons I feel like I didn't get an extra deck out, but sadly the one time I got hit by a Chaos Hunter I didn't draw it, and that was in top 8, so yeah. And then just the 2 targets. Sanctum gets your Lancia into the mirror. I decided for this over the barrier thingy, because you can still get Authenticate even if they can only make 1 link, and you're basically just playing around Impulse with that because they can still just dash the Trust. So yeah, and I also decided to play Mischief of the Gnomes. This was really good. This was the only trap that stops both Mitsurugi and Raziel into that matchup, and it worked out pretty well. Game 3 of, I think it was round 5 or 6, I got Mulcharmy Meowst against Mitsurugi, and I could just make the full board, give him like 5-6 draws or something, and just end on this plus full board, and they couldn't do anything because this just stops their entire deck. Okay, so that's it for the deck profile. Shoutouts to my team, which I prepared with for this event. Shoutouts to Vicky, who's going to put this on his channel, so subscribe to him. And yeah, this would be it for the deck profile. Thanks for watching.